Spoiler alert for Prison Break, skip ahead if you haven't seen it. Fernando Sucre is one of those characters who, when you first meet him, seems almost ordinary compared to the larger-than-life figures around him in Prison Break. He isn't a genius mastermind like Michael Scofield, nor a menacing force like Theodore Bagwell. He doesn't operate in shadows like Mahone, and he doesn't carry the same tragic mythology as Lincoln Burrows. Yet, in his quiet way, Sucre becomes the heart of the series, an anchor of loyalty and warmth in a world defined by betrayal, violence, and survival. Sucre is introduced as a man caught between two worlds, his love for Veracruz and his entanglement with illegal acts. His illegal acts is not driven by greed, nor by the cold desire for power, but by desperation, the desire to provide a better life for the woman he loves. And this paradox becomes central to his character. Sucre is both deeply devoted and painfully flawed. When we look at Sucre's loyalty, it's impossible not to recognize that it is perhaps his most defining trait. He is loyal almost to a fault. Once he aligns himself with someone, that bond is unshakable. With Michael, his loyalty becomes almost brotherly. He trusts Michael's plans, defends him in moments of doubt, and follows him into danger repeatedly, even when the risks are monumental. This loyalty is not rooted in blind faith, but in Sucre's ability to sense integrity in others. He knows Michael is fighting for something larger than himself, and Sucre becomes an extension of that fight, carrying burdens that don't always belong to him. Yet what makes Sucre fascinating is how his loyalty to friends often eclipses his loyalty to family. This is the paradox of his character. On paper, he should be defined by his love story with Veracruz, a love that is pure, romantic, and relentless. He risks everything for her, breaking out of prison, running from state to state, and enduring constant danger. But when placed beside his bonds of friendship, there is a noticeable difference in how Sucre acts. His love for Veracruz is desperate, impulsive, almost naive. It's full of passion, but also pain. His love for his friends, however, is steady, selfless, and enduring. It's as though Sucre's relationships highlight two different sides of his soul. With Veracruz, his heart burns with desire, but it is unstable, almost fragile. With his friends, Michael, Lincoln, C-Note, even men he doesn't always agree with, his heart works more like a compass, always pointing toward loyalty, even when it costs him dearly. In many ways, Sucre shows us that family is not always defined by blood or even by romance. Sometimes it's the people who fight alongside you, who suffer and survive with you, who truly become family. Sucre's paradox also reflects the harsh environment he's trapped in. Prison is not a place that nurtures family ties. It isolates, it corrupts, it forces choices that don't always align with the ideals of love and home. In that environment, Sucre's loyalty adapts. It becomes less about promises whispered to a lover and more about standing shoulder to shoulder with men who might have once been strangers but are now bound by the same desperate fate. Yet, to reduce Sucre to just loyalty would be to miss the emotional depth he carries. He is a character full of humor and humanity. In the darkest moments of Prison Break, it is often Sucre who injects light, his jokes, his warmth, his unassuming presence reminding us that even in chaos, the human spirit can remain gentle. This gentleness doesn't make him weak. On the contrary, it makes him strong in a way the others are not. Where others grow cold and hardened, Sucre remains soft-hearted, and it's precisely this softness that allows him to endure without losing himself completely. And yet, that softness comes with pain. His story with Veracruz is not a fairy tale but a constant struggle. Every choice he makes for her seems to push her further away. It's a harsh love story because it reveals how passion can sometimes lead to suffering. Sucre doesn't stop loving her, he can't, but it's a love that drains as much as it gives. It's as though fate insists on testing him, reminding him that love, no matter how deep, cannot always conquer the circumstances of life. So we are left with this duality: Fernando Sucre, the man of loyalty, and Fernando Sucre, the man of heartbreak. A man who would risk his life for his friends without hesitation, but whose greatest personal desire, being with Veracruz, remains painfully out of reach for most of the series. In the grand architecture of Prison Break, Sucre may not be the architect, nor the soldier, nor the villain. But he is something rarer. He is the moral center. He embodies the quiet truth that in a world of manipulation and betrayal, what truly matters is not how clever you are, or how ruthless, but how loyal you remain when everything around you tempts you to abandon that loyalty. Fernando Sucre teaches us that loyalty is both a gift and a burden. That love can be both salvation and suffering. And that even in the darkest corners of human experience, a gentle heart can endure. He is not the loudest character in Prison Break, but he might just be its most human.